This is the Wikipedia page for Wordle. You're listening to the podcast where we read Wikipedia pages and comment on them. Welcome to WikiListen. I'm Victor Varnado, KSN.
And I'm Rachel Teichman, LMSW.
Rachel, have you been playing Wordle?
Every day.
I know, I've been playing it too. I've been watching your scores.
I've been watching your scores because you post them on my posts.
Oh yeah, to let you know that I beat the Wordle faster than you. Wordle. Wordle is a web-based word game developed by Josh Wardle, a programmer who previously created the social experiments Place and the button for Reddit. Players attempt to guess a 5-letter word in 6 attempts. Feedback in the form of colored tiles is given for each guess, informing players which letters are in the correct position and which are in other positions of the answer word. The mechanics are similar to those in games such as Mastermind, though Wordle specifies exactly which letters in each guess are correct. There is a specific answer word for each day, which is the same for everyone.
Wardle initially created the game for himself and his partner to play, eventually making it public in October 2021. The game gained a large amount of popularity in December 2021 after Wardle added the ability for players to copy their daily results as emoji squares, which were widely shared on Twitter. Many clones and variations of the game were also created, as were versions in languages besides English. The game's popularity also led to a boost in downloads for an older game with a similar name.
Gameplay. Every day, a 5-letter word is chosen which players aim to guess within 6 tries. After every guess, each letter is marked as either green, yellow, or gray. Green indicates that the letter is correct and in the correct position. Yellow means it is in the answer but not in the right position, while gray indicates it is not in the answer at all. The game has a hard mode option which requires players to include letters marked as green and yellow in subsequent guesses. The daily word is the same for everyone. The game also has a dark mode as well as a high contrast theme for colorblind accessibility, which changes the color scheme from green and yellow to orange and blue.
Conceptually and stylistically, the game is similar to the 1955 pen and paper game Jotto and to the game show franchise Lingo. The gameplay is also similar to the 2-player board game Mastermind and the game Bulls and Cows, with the exception that Wordle confirms the specific letters that are correct. Each daily game uses a word from a randomly ordered list of 2,315 words, out of the 12,000 5-letter words in the English language. The smaller word list was chosen by Wardle's partner, who categorized the 5-letter words into those she knew, those she didn't know, and those she might have known. Wordle uses American spelling despite the developer's use of a UK domain name. The developer is from Wales but resides in New York City. Some British players were enraged when one answer was spelled FAVOR and complained that this gave US players an unfair advantage.
Sorry, Brits.
That was obnoxious.
Well, I mean, it's just mad because it doesn't have a U in it. It wouldn't be 5 letters then, so, you know.
And then it wouldn't be for you or me.
Uh-oh. History. Wardle initially created the game for himself and his partner, Palak Shah, to play as they got really into the New York Times Spelling Bee and daily crossword puzzle. In mid-October 2021, he made it public after it rapidly became an obsession, with relatives naming it Wordle as a pun on his surname. He had created a similar prototype in 2013. The prototype allowed for endless play, with players able to play puzzles immediately after each other, and its word list was unfiltered. Wardle previously created the 2 online social experiments, The Button and Place, when working for Reddit. He has said that he has no intention to monetize the game, and it's not trying to do anything shady with your data or your eyeballs. It's just a game that's fun. In an interview on BBC Radio 4's Today, Wardle stated that he does not know each day's words, so can still enjoy playing the game himself.
The game became a viral phenomenon on Twitter in late December 2021 after Wardle added a sharing element to the game. letting users copy their results in the form of a grid of colored square emoji. The feature was inspired by a group of friends from New Zealand who had found the game in late November and described their results in the emoji format. Over 300,000 people played Wordle on January 2nd, 2022, up from 90 players on November 1st, 2021, a figure that rose to over 2 million a week later. Between January 1st and 13th, 1.2 million Wordle results were shared on Twitter. Several media outlets, including CNET and the Indian Express, attributed the game's popularity to the dailiness of the puzzles, kind of like this podcast. Wardle suggested that having one puzzle per day creates a sense of scarcity, leaving players wanting more. He also noted that it encourages players to spend only 3 minutes on the game each day. He also noted some subtler details about the game, such as the game's keyboard changing to reflect the game state, as reasons for players' enjoyment.
Separately, an entirely different game called Wordle! By Stephen Cravato, which had been released on the App Store 5 years prior to Wardle's Wordle, saw a boost in downloads and purchases from people who thought it was Wardle's Wordle, according to Cravato, between January 5th and 12th, 2022. His game was downloaded over 200,000 times. Cravato was glad to see his game's resurgence, though recognized purchasers were likely buying it thinking it was Wardle's Wordle. And he has stated that in collaboration with Wardle, he will donate any proceeding of his game to Boost in Oakland, California, a charity providing tutoring to Oakland school children.
Google created a special Google Doodle when one searches for Wordle, with the site's logo becoming an animated game of Wordle to find the word Google.
Adaptions and Clones. Following Wordle's sudden rise in popularity at the start of 2022, a number of video game clones appeared. Some of these clones revised the Wordle formula in novel methods. Absurdle is an adversarial version of Wordle where the target word changes with each guess. Its developer, going by the handle QNTM, had previously developed a similar adversarial version of Tetris called Hatris, and like Hatris, Absurdle was aimed to be the most difficult version of Wordle possible. Other clones include one that used only 4-letter swear words as its vocabulary pool, and another that let players change the word length. However, on Apple's App Store, a number of ad-supported clones which did little to alter the formula, even borrowing the game's name, appeared in early January 2022. One developer of the clones had bragged about their success on social media, leading numerous other users to ridicule him for creating a clone, causing the developer to set their social media accounts to private. Users continued to seek out other Wordle clones on the App Store, and by the end of that day, nearly all of the clones had been removed from the store, though Apple did not confirm whether or not it was responsible for their removal.
That means it was.
Yeah.
Wordle was adapted into other languages including Russian, Dutch, Spanish, Catalan, Galician, German, Urdu, Hungarian, Japanese, French, Portuguese, Tamil, Turkish, Hebrew, Welsh, and Yiddish. One Brazilian Portuguese adaptation called Termo had up to 200,000 daily players in January 2022.
Wow, that was quite a list of languages.
It sure was, and I enjoyed every second of it. And the biggest thing that has me excited that I learned in this article is that the developer who created Wordle created the button for Reddit. Like, that is a huge deal to me.
Oh yeah, did you partake in the button?
I sure did, and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, so there he goes. So he started with the button, he ends it with Wardle. This has been the Wikipedia page for Wordle. Thanks for listening to WikiListen. To support the show, go to patreon.com/WikiListen podcast and find us on social media at WikiListen and at wikilisten.com.